I am who I am. One black man, my hand in God's hand, trusting in that word because that word never failed me. Every time you see me, I come as one, but I stand as 1 million. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Thursday. I got the amazing, outstanding, phenomenal Tynika Burks in the building. Man,
Hey.
and I'm gonna let her introduce herself, provide us with a little bit of her origin, and then we're gonna get it kicked off.
Hey, you gotta tag me so I can share it.
Got you. Got
Okay, so my name is Tanika Burks, as he said. Let me see. I was born in LA. Well, first off, let me start with I'm a single mother of two. So if you hear them distracted in the background, that's what it is. My apologies ahead of time. Okay, so I was born in LA. I am the youngest of four girls, being a twin of mine. I lived in LA for 5 years, moved to Vegas for about 5 years. My dad's job moved us to Atlanta for a couple years. Then we moved back here to Louisville, Kentucky, where majority of my family lives now. Yeah, I've been a little bit of everywhere.
everywhere. Hey man, before I say anything else, before I go any further, you kicked it off with the phenomenal come in as far as the intro, talking about the baby girls, man.
Yes, yes.
That's the most important thing. That's the most amazing thing. The fact that you all as women can produce humans such as myself and yourself is the most amazing thing that I've seen yet happen. So I appreciate you for being that outstanding mother of them two beautiful young
Thank
ladies.
you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a blessing. It's definitely what pushes me and keeps me going every day. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Hey,
here for.
that's it. That's it. And the main so the topic tonight is gonna be discipline. We're gonna talk about discipline. But my main thing as far as what I'm doing with the live, this is endure the process. Um, pretty much it's a virtual series in regards to 7 principles. Those 7 principles are the principles that are included in my amazing book.
Congrats
Shout
on
out to
that
Mr.
delivery
Kenny.
today.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, appreciate it. Shout out to KB man, distilling these 7 principles in me, but I'm looking to distill them in others. Um, each and every Thursday, we are live here on Facebook, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central. I said that backwards. I'll say it again, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. Make sure y'all tuning in, man, because it's not just gonna be me. As y'all can see, I will have each and every individual that I can possibly bring on that is in fact changing this world, to come on and share their story with us, because that's what it's all about. In regards to my program and what I'm looking to do, I pretty much just look to share my story as well as my brother's story, as well as everybody else's story in this world, because we never know whose story can help one another. So, um, setting a strong foundation in regards to this life we live. That's the main thing. I'm not looking to change change. I'm not looking to. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I am looking to change the world,
I was
but
gonna
I'm
say
not
change
looking
is
to
not bad. Change is not bad.
not looking to beat nobody over the head, or tell nobody, look, this is what you got to do. We come in from our experiences to get us to where we are right now, pretty much.
Yep.
So each and every Thursday, live in effect. This week we got again the amazing. I call it twin, man. I hope everybody,
That works.
yeah. I can't go back to the y'all know her
Nerd.
name. She already
No,
introduced
it
herself.
doesn't matter.
Man, so it's a simple thing as far as the foundation, and it's completely left field. It was not in regards to the conversation that I sent you, the questions or anything, but we kicked off with the two lovely young ladies, and setting a foundation starts pretty much there. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like you had your experience growing up, and we're gonna get to that in a second. But now you have the ability to actually inspire and share life and create life with two young ladies who are literally looking up to you for each and everything that they do in life.
Right.
Um, how important is it that you make sure that you instill that strong foundation, that foundation that cannot be blown by no big bad wolf?
It is probably the most important. Okay, so haven't talked about my growing up yet, but with my mother, it was like she didn't have to work, you know. So my father did everything that she wanted. We moved to Vegas because my mother wanted to move to Vegas, and my father said, "I'm gonna let you do that." And house mother, you know, so she took care of us four girls and didn't have to work a day of her life. And so, you know, me growing up, I'm like, is that something I want? You know, just my husband to take care of me. And I kind of never really was in that box. Not to say it's a bad box, but I wanted to be the part of providing, obviously, for my family. And I just didn't, I never saw myself, you know, not being a provider for us. And now, you know, with me being a single parent, I am the only provider. And I want to in them the independence and the resilience and perseverance that I felt like I grew up with. And even though, you know, I had this role model that was just a house mom, a housewife, I was like, you know, I want to do what my dad, you know, I want to be the one that's going to raise these kids and do what I got to do and get them where they need to be, because I just feel like I'm gonna put my foot down. I'm gonna show them the right way, you know, not the wrong way. I'll make sure they know the difference between their needs and their wants and what they need to do to get there. And I just the best person to do that for my girls. Definitely with them being girls, you know?
Facts. Big facts. Big facts. And again, I appreciate you. First question, and it's been daunting on me, man, since you told me you was a 12th grade teacher. Like I knew you was in high school. I knew you was teaching in high school, but I did not know it was 12th grade. How is it being a 12th grade math teacher right now in today's world, especially with the virtual? Are y'all doing like half days, like half in the class, half out? Like what's going on that way?
So when first off, why I even got into high school, because everybody's like, you look like the kids, you look like you're one of them. How are you even keeping up with the 12th graders? Why do they even listen to you? I'm like, yeah, definitely. They probably listen to me, and no shade to my coworkers. They probably listen to me more than they do a lot of the teachers in the building. Okay. So how, why 12th grade? Ooh, I did student teaching in middle school, and I just the immaturity levels I just couldn't do. So, you know, I end up doing I think my first job was substituting. And it was high school. And I think it was freshmen actually that I had. And I was like, okay, this is better than middle school, but still I need the mature. So I end up my first job was getting was at Seneca. Not my first job, but my first permanent job was at Seneca as a senior teacher. And I was like, this is what I want. And with me teaching a required course, math course, to pass my class to graduate, it was kind of like they know what they need to do. They know they have to pass this. It is or it isn't. So for me, it's great. And I feel like the kids know, you know, Miss Burks, she's close in our age, you know, we can relate, we can talk, and we don't do no off the wall, you know, conversations, but I can relate to them because I am close in age with them. So it works, it's perfect. So our schedule though, all the schools are different in schedule, but my kids are coming every other day, and we're going from 9 to 2:30 every day with a whole hour lunch break, which we've never had, which is awesome. So I mean, honestly, it's been working. The only bad thing is the attendance. Working on that. I'm hoping it gets better. I'm having to grade a little bit harder because I need to get them in class. Parents, if you're watching, kids, if you're watching, I need y'all to get in class on time so we can keep this education, because that's the key to life, this education.
Facts. Facts. That's the gem on the gym right there. Like
Yeah,
understand that education is definitely key.
it's definitely.
Um we got degrees between ourselves. I ain't gonna go into my education or nothing, but I'm
Tell them
gonna say
about it. Tell them about
that I'm gonna say that my self knowledge, my self taught information has been one of the extreme measures, especially after 2016.
it. Hmm.
So when Ali passed away, that's when I really started, you know, figuring out what I was gonna do in my purpose and the mission that I'm on.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, I'm looking to impact the world the same way, if not greater than Ali. And that's a bold and big, powerful statement to, you know what I'm saying,
And
be
you can
saying,
do it.
hey, I'm when I say I didn't struggle, but like literally I was processing. So when he passed away, I felt it, and I'm gonna get back to you. But when he passed away, I felt it. You know, we done lost many different celebrities in regards to death. But this one hit home because he's from the city. He's from Louisville. And I was trying to figure out what made Ali so great. Like, what made him so powerful? How did he get to where he got to, the way he got to it? And I could not come up with anything. Like, I could not come up with nothing. So I then thought about, you know, y'all, the woman that I entered the world from. And I'm like, hey, he came from the same thing. He came from a woman as well. So there it was. I was like, there is no difference between Muhammad Ali and myself. We both come into this world not knowing anything. And he put in his mind at the age of 12 years old that he was going to do something. He saw his vision at 12, and he knew each and every day that he lived, he was living out that vision. That's all we got to do. That's all it is.
And me and him, you know, are both alums of Central High School.
Facts.
Just throw that out there.
CHS. Shout out to CHS.
Yes,
Hey.
woo, Yellow Jackets.
Look,
I'm repping for my Seneca Redhawks tonight, though, yeah.
Oh, drop. Let them know. The CHS is the alum, but you know.
Yeah, the Miss Burks. Hold on, can y'all see the Miss Burks on the back?
We see it.
Get me together. They love me. My kids love me.
Big real. Let's start with you. Because we done talked about the kids. We talked about a little bit about your students, and we're going to touch about your students a little bit too more. But let's talk about yourself and discipline and how it was distilled in you coming up. Well, some of the ways you were taught discipline, or some of the ways, you know, you have discipline to help you get to where you're at as far as this wonderful teacher, Ms. Burks.
Thank you. Well, first off, let me tell you what I think of discipline when I think of discipline. I kind of think it is the difference between right and wrong on one end, knowing the difference between your needs on the other end, and then having that perseverance and resilience to push through the right road to get you to what you need. So many people caught up in what you want necessarily focus on, but I got to get this done. This is priority. So having that discipline is knowing, okay, this is what I have to do, and this is what I need to do to get to what I need, not necessarily what I want. It's like I was a good girl, and it's because I respected the fact that my parents knew I was going to do right, and I didn't want to let them down. So it wasn't hard for me to instill the discipline in myself. It just kind of fell from what my parents did, and again, I knew what I needed in life, not necessarily what I wanted. I knew I needed an education. I knew I wanted to go to Howard University. And so I made sure I did what I needed to do to get there. And I worked 2 jobs in high school. Tell me if I'm going off subject, okay? I worked 2 jobs in high school, right? And I took AP classes. I graduated at the top of my class as valedictorian at Central High School because I know at that point when I'm working 2 jobs, I needed a car. So I was working these 2 jobs. I bought my own first car, not a dime from my parents. I didn't ask, but because I didn't need. And with that, I still graduated. Me and my twin sister both got the exact same scholarships to Howard University. And that was pretty much the only want that I wanted was to go to Howard. Everything else was me doing what I needed to do to get there because I needed that education. It didn't matter where I wanted to go. I got to go where I wanted to go, but I needed that education. So I did what I needed to do, made sure I followed the right road to get there. That was a lot of discipline. 2 jobs in high school. Whew.
That in high school while taking AP classes, like most certainly. But I got a question though. What? Would you tie that into self-respect? Would you say that's what that is?
Yes.
Because you have the self-respect to make sure you stay on your task and do what you need to do.
Yep. Exactly. I think a lot of it is also the self-discipline too. You know, me not spending money, frivolously or on things that I wanted versus what I needed. I've never really been a shopper anyway, so it was easy for me too. But I all of that, self-respect, self-discipline, and just keeping the end goal in mind. And that was just where my head was. I was a stepper too. I don't know how I did it my senior year. I really don't. But that's what I tell my kids all the time. That's what I tell my kids. They're like, you probably grew up here. I'm like, no, I played and ran around in Beach Terrace all the time. the projects all the time. I went to Central. I said I worked 2 jobs. Like, listen, if I can do it, I promise you can. I didn't have a silver spoon in my mouth. I worked for what I needed. Okay. I made sure I had that self-discipline. And if I can do it, y'all can do it. I'm not special. I'm not no kind of way. I am not flawless. Okay.
Wait. You said that you had the 2 jobs. You was going to Central. Man, where you grew up at? Where you was running around at? People know, man. You said Beecher Terrace, man. Like, we project kids, man.
Muhammad Ali.
We project kids, man. We really are.
Like, Liberty Court, 1202 West Liberty Court. Do you hear?
Man, that don't define us.
No,
we did not.
Not at all.
We saw so much, like so much, coming through those projects. Mm-hmm. Like, and we got so many people that didn't see so much that we saw that didn't get to make it out.
Right.
2 individuals that I can throw out is Johnny and Rob. And I mentioned them, R.I.P. Johnny, R.I.P. Rob, because they were my brothers. They were my brothers, man. Like,
yes.
Dude, so real quick, for those who are listening, who don't know the background in regards to what we're talking about. And that's the reason why I got so excited when she mentioned Beecher Terrace. Man, we are literally, and that's why I'm glad that I'm sharing this with you. Like, we are 2 individuals literally that made it out when we knew individuals that got shot and killed weeks apart, alleys apart. Like, these 2 individuals got shot in our projects or in our housing complexes. Brothers, younger brother got killed first. Older brother got killed a week later. Like, when I heard that, I was, that tore me down. That tore me down.
No, that's a lot.
That's a freaking testimony, man. Like, legit, you did that. You did that. You went to school, like you said. You telling your youth, like, they can't say any, like, okay. And that's the reason why I like everything that we do. So, how can a student be like, I ain't doing this work? You ain't doing it. I done did it.
Right.
Hey, none of your students, I'm sure none of your students that you have can be like, hey, Ms. Burks, I got 2 jobs right now. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm still here. Man, nah. So I feel you exactly what you're saying. I feel you exactly what you're saying when you say, look, I got a whole.
Oh, then they talk the extracurricular. Nope, I was on the step team, did it too. No, you can't hit me with it. You can't hit me with it. It's doable, okay? You can't. Nice. You just gotta keep in mind the end goal and know what you need, not what you want. It's not about you. You gotta work all these jobs because you gotta buy these Jordans. Ooh, that's another story. You gotta keep in mind the end goal and what you want, not what you need. And that's what I try to instill in the kids. You gotta know where you're going, sweetheart. And you got to know that I cannot hold your hand the whole time. And when you leave Seneca, nobody's going to be holding your hand. When you go off and go to college or whatever, secondary education, or if you choose not to do secondary education, it's not for everybody. College is not for everybody. I'm definitely not pushing that. Nobody's going to hold your hand. They're not. I mean, this is, a cruel world.
Hey, I rock with you. I'm going to say that. I really rock with you. So, you just mentioned something that set me on fire on the inside. I ain't even gonna lie. You gotta know where you're going.
Yes.
You gotta know where you're going. And I say that set me on fire because it's talking about vision. Mm-hmm. And vision is a part of that mind. I used to daydream.
Okay.
I used to dream. And I feel like that's a vital part in our youth mind, as far as like daydreaming and dreaming and visions. But I'm reading. And I'm ecstatic about this book. But I'm currently reading Sacred Hoops.
What's the name of it?
Sacred Hoops.
Sacred Hoops.
Yeah, and it's by Phil Jackson. But it's pretty much talking about how to build a team, but it's talking about the mind, body, and the soul in it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And the main thing that I took from it so far is being a coach, something of similar to yourself. You're a coach. Being a coach, you gotta be able to orchestrate a team in a way that it flows.
Right.
The machine operates. So he mentions that. Yeah, he mentions that if you don't have the vision of everyone on the team as the same, the machine, no matter what you do, the machine's not going to operate the way it needs to.
Right.
So in the sense of that, we got to see where we're going. So one of the things that Mr. Kenny used to ask me a lot growing up, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Chris, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Chris, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Chris, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And every time he asks me, I'm like, Mr. Kenny, I have no idea. Like, I have no idea. But as I got older, I started to understand, because at the time I'm 11, 12, 13 years old. As I got older, I started to understand what he meant by that. And he wanted me to start seeing where I wanted to go.
Right. And it's funny how you said that the daydreaming is good to do and to visualize want to go. But I think the more important and the next step in that is writing it down. And I know a lot of people might say write in a journal or do a vision map. Let me tell you, Beecher Terrace, back to Beecher Terrace, okay? So my auntie Nana worked in the center, you know, in the basement of Beecher Terrace. And I was in some kind of Auntie Nana, shout out to Auntie Nana. I was in some kind of group. I can't think of the I was in, but it was through the center, and it was some kind of computer group. I can't remember. Anywho, they had us do a not a vision board, but it was a presentation. This presentation saying, you know, where, of course, I was probably around the same age that you, close to what you were saying you were. And we had to put together where we wanted to be in 5-10 years, what school we wanted to go to in the future. Let me tell you what I put on that. And I think I still have that presentation. I said I wanted to be a teacher. I don't think I said math teacher because I didn't know I wanted to teach math until I got to high school. I said I wanted to go to college, but I college next. I said I wanted to have kids, and I said I wanted to open a daycare. I don't care about the daycare no more. But the fact of the vision, I went to school, I have my kids, I became a teacher, I put it down. And when I say I watched that presentation multiple times after I made it, you know, years after years later, and I felt proud of it. I felt proud to say, you know, Mom and Daddy, look what I put together. You know, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. And because I wrote it down, I knew what I needed to do. And I knew what, you know, where I wanted to be. So down and me putting that in that presentation. And then it was PowerPoint. I think it was when they first invented PowerPoint. So I was like, oh my God, I put together a PowerPoint presentation. Yep. It was just like, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So in daydreaming it, envisioning it is all felt fine and dandy, because you got to know that that's where you're going to start, but you got to put it down. You got to put that down on paper somehow.
Mentors, role models, besides Auntie Nana, growing up, did you have any of those?
You said mentors and role models?
Yeah, mentors and role models.
Besides my Auntie Nana, I would probably just say my parents. So my father, he's an accountant. So that's kind of where I got the math part of me. And then my mother is just a strong individual that found this man that's going to take care of me and my 4 kids.
Amazing.
And he wanted to be a diva myself.
Shout out to mama.
Yes. And then my older sister, my oldest sister, Kizzy, like she definitely is a role model of mine, because she took care when my mom and my dad was gone. Because again, my dad worked in California. He moved my mom to Vegas, and he traveled back and forth every weekend, just to make my mother happy. And so when dad's at work or mama was gone doing whatever she may have been doing, you know, my older sister stepped in, and so she became almost a second for us. And you know, she just did the damn thing. So shout out to my love, definitely a great role model of mine as well. And my high school teacher, actually, Mr. R, he's the one that made me want to become a math teacher. So I took pre-calc, I think, and I was completely lost. I'm like, what is going on? I'm in my 11th grade year. I love math, and I have no clue what's going on. I passed the class with an A, but I didn't really feel, you know, confident in what I was doing. I was like, oh, now I got to go to AP Calculus. And the teacher, my pre-calc teacher, was very, very energized and very happy and always smiley, but I wasn't getting the content how I wanted. My calculus teacher, he was so boring and so down and so dull. And I'm telling you, this calculus stuck to me like it was basic ABCs. I said, oh my God. I said, why is this so easy? I said, this is what I want to do, Mr. R. Shout out to Mr. R, Mr. Rothensmeyer, Central High School. He might not be there no more. this is what I want to do, Mr. R. I want to take something like calculus and make it basic algebra. And I said, that's what I want to do as a high school teacher. And I get it all the time from my kids, not to toot my own horn, but they like, Miss Burks, this is so easy. I didn't just show me this easy route. I said, well, teach is different. You know, I'm just giving you different tools for your toolbox. You know, now you know how to do their way. Now you know how to do my way. As long as we get to the end and correct, it don't matter. But I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to break it down and make it as simple. I mean, why does life have to be complicated? It doesn't. So let me see, in college, what kind of struggles I had. College was fun. Being at Howard, it was just fun altogether. So I don't think I had any moments where I wanted to quit in my undergrad. But when I got to my graduate school, so I graduated from undergrad. I think I went back to grad school, maybe 2014. I can't remember when I started it. But when I went back to grad school, I had my first daughter. And I was a full-time teacher. I want to say I was in the midst of purchasing my first home. And I think I had purchased my first brand new car. So, you know, a real car note. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to school. I'm teaching.
Hold up real quick. I gotta get it. That's a testimony in itself, man. Like, that is a testimony in itself.
Man. And so it was hard working on my first master's. And it was me going to school after work. So I got out of class late because class maybe ended at 8 o'clock at night. And then I got to go home. I got to take care of my daughter and dinner still, you know, baths and homework. And I was like, oh my God. So I felt like I was done after my first master. I said, I'm not doing this again. I'm done. One master's is enough. I'm good. And then they said, well, you do know JCPS is going to pay for it. Yes, it's going to pay for it. And you do know that, you know, you'll move up in rank if you go back. I said, oh. So I went back for another one.
Let's go ahead and do this real quick.
I think I might have been pregnant with my second daughter. And I went back to school and I got my second master's. And both of them I graduated on Mother's Day. So that was my Mother's Day gift, you know, just me graduating and doing that then. And just knowing that I was able to complete it, taking care of my kids, you know, purchasing home, purchasing a car, and still at the same time working full time as a teacher. As a teacher, for my fellow teachers that may have be watching, we know that our job never ends. Okay, when the bell rings at 2:20, I don't know, our job don't end. We got to go home. We got to write lesson plans. We got to respond to emails for kids that send it at 10 o'clock at night and they get mad when you don't respond back to them. Yeah, it never ends. So it was working from sun up to sundown. But I don't think it was ever a point where I wanted to give up there. It's just resilience. Let me just say that. A lot of resilience. Like, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get my rank 1. I'm gonna put these degrees on my wall, and they're on my wall in my basement now.
From me, and this is just me being honest, just me being me.
Okay.
Having a kid in itself is tough.
Yes.
Having a kid in itself is a task. It's considered a job. You know, it's something that we love, that, you know, because it's our kid, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But it's time consuming.
Yes.
So for you to do that while going to school, while working a full-time job, you were already being prepared for what you needed to do.
Yep.
And then when that time came, there was no thinking about it. It was just do.
Just do it.
Because I've already did it.
Yep.
So
like I did once, I can do it again.
I said that because right now, right now I'll be running, man, and I'll be running, and I've never ran this much in my life. I ain't gonna say that. I play basketball, I play soccer, but personally, like, just getting out and running miles at a time, like, I've never been one to do that. I've always been like, I may run 1 mile, I do conditioning, but I'm on that basketball court, so that's my condition.
Right.
Very first time I did 3 miles. The very first time I did 3 miles, I thought I was gonna fall over and pass out. I'm on the run, and I hadn't done it before. So what got me through this particular run, I had been watching the Harriet Tubman movie. And her in real life, Harriet didn't run. We know she was on the Underground Railroad. She probably ran, but it wasn't like the movie depicted. But in the movie, she was running. So in the movie, she running 600, 700 miles going from state to state. And I'm running 3. And I'm out there like, bro, you can't quit right now. You got to think about Harriet. Harriet saved all them people. You got to keep going. And that's what pushed me through to my run. But after I did my 3 miles, though, every time afterwards, when I got that feeling and I'm ready to get tired or wanting to quit, I look back at that first time and I'm like, I already did it. Yep. So there is no stopping right now because it's already done. So I can do it again.
Yep.
So it's amazing looking back on the things that we've grown through to get us to the point that we're at in our lives, you know, in today.
Right.
That happened to me so much. You know what I'm saying? I like you, I didn't know that I was going to be doing the things that I'm doing now as far as speaking. And, you know, when I was going through school, I was legit going to school just to play basketball. And as far as my degrees went, I got my degrees because, hey, I like talking. I got 2 communications degrees. I got an undergrad and a master's in communication. And I'm like, hey, if nothing else, I'm going to be able to communicate, you know, my way around the world, basically.
Right.
So
networking. I just had a conversation with somebody else that networking is the key. Most doors.
Big time. It's huge.
It's not about what you know all the time. Sometimes about who you know.
Facts.
Not that mouth.
I'm telling you, if you don't have a first impression, if you don't know how to talk to people, they're gonna look at you and they're gonna keep it moving. Period.
If you can't firmly shake hand, let's talk about that. Do we need interviewing skills class? Sometimes, yes,
Facts.
we do. Goodness.
Facts.
All that.
Going that interview like, hey, how you doing? Oh, buddy, you shaking my hand too much. Like, let go of my hand.
Right.
2 and we done. You gotta know that. But that's
when I shake people's hand, they always say, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" This is a firm handshake. I said, "I just know how to shake a hand." I mean, you know.
Gotta know. Nowadays, though, we're gonna do the when I meet people, I'm like, "Hey,
because of Corona,
COVID. Don't you too close, buddy. Too close, buddy.
Right.
So we're gonna pretty much end it at that. Because I'm like I said, value your time. But it's amazing how life is. On the contrary, and even with everything that we grow through, we're still here. So when that time comes for us to make that transition to the other side, we need to appreciate everything that's been given to us right now.
Yes.
And it's vital that we tag each other, we call each other, we keep that communication live, especially with our family.
Right.
And friends and everyone. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we want to give roses to each other while we're still here. Yeah. Celebrate this life while we're still here.
And in addition, you want to know, not even necessarily it having to be the greatest legacy of the world, but when you pass, you know, what do you want to leave behind for your kids, or what do you want people to have thought of you? You know what I'm saying? So that's something people need to take into consideration too. How are you living your life? You know, and I know a lot of people, I don't care what people. Yes, you do. And then what would you think about yourself? Laying in a casket, you gone now. Can you look back and say, I did everything that I wanted to. I enjoyed life. I made the best of life. Do that too. Like, people work so hard nowadays. I got to live a little as well, but also about what legacy am I leaving behind? You know, what kind of words would they be able to put in my obituary about me?
Right on. And that's my whole thing with Muhammad Ali. Like, man,
he's the greatest. Okay, to tell the people where they can get your book from, because I need to know too.
True. So, of course, you can grab it from Amazon.com. I can shoot you the link. You know, go ahead and support that way. But I'm actually autographing and I'm signing and I'm sending special tokens. So in a sense, if you would like a copy of the Amazing Youth Alive book, you can't really see the cover or anything because it's bright in here. I got all my lights and stuff on, but well, just reach out to me. $15 a copy, which isn't nothing. I didn't overprice it for the simple fact that it is for the youth. And I'm sure that if the youth want to buy it, they can come up with 15 buckaroos. or even at that, if they want the book, I'll send it to them regardless. But anyway, reach out to me. I'll need your address, of course, so I can send it to you. But I'll sign it, put some words of inspiration in there, and hopefully, this amazing 57, 70-page book can do something to change your life.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's all God. I mentioned Johnny and Rob earlier. They're in here. My big brother, who did 22 years in the federal penitentiary, he's in here. My dad, who used to be a drug, dope fiend, whatever y'all want to call it, drug user, drug abuser, he's in here. My turmoil, I'm in here. But at the end of the day, I'm still here, and that's the ultimate thing, and that's the whole in everything. We've lost many people, you know what I'm saying, in regards to life. Life is a for sure thing. One thing for sure, two things for certain. When you're born, and then you got an expiration date.
Yeah.
There's no escaping it. There's no way out. So the ultimate goal is to just do everything in our power, man, while we're here, to endure the process and to be alive. That's the title of the book. So the title of the book is Youth Alive. It's actually a double. It's a two-part meaning. Of course, those that know me know that it's titled after my after-school program, but in the gist of the book, it's the meaning of the book is I actually want to empower the youth to bring them alive. So definitely grab it. Definitely grab it. I've actually been signing and writing and stuff all day, so I can get these orders out to the people. But I'm definitely grateful in regards to the experience, in regards to our experience, in regards to this time we've shared this evening, as well as the past.
Yes.
I do want you to continue to grow, continue to shine bright like a diamond, continue to inspire them kids, man. I will be tapping in with you. Obviously, we're connected at the hip.
Yep.
No way around it. I love you. I love your family. I love everything about y'all.
Thank you so much for having me, Chris.
Absolutely. Absolutely an honor. Definitely an honor. Keep growing, keep shining. I'm going to let you get to your baby girls.
All right. Have a good one. I'll talk to you later. I'm on Amazon as we speak, okay?
I got you.
All right. Bye.
Talk to you shortly.